guys, Liz here from the Nail Hub. Today I have another awesome episode of the Nail Hub podcast for you. I have a very special guest joining me today, Joche Santiago from Puerto Rico. Joche actually runs a business called Exotique in Puerto Rico, and he is a fellow Light Elegance distributor that I actually met when I went to the Light Elegance reunion this last April in Redmond, Oregon. And after meeting Joche, I just absolutely hit it off with him. He's such a cool guy, total entrepreneur, and he's trying to really change and improve the industry and all of the nail technicians that he comes across. And we'll get into, a little bit more in depth about our opinions about that and some really cool topics. But I wanted to have Joche join me to share with me what he's doing in his particular area. Joche, thank you for joining me today. I thought what we could do to start is you could tell everyone a little bit about your background in the beauty industry, where you were, where you are, where you're going, and what your hopes are for the industry.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I really appreciate it. I feel very honored. My dad used to run the L'Oreal operation here in Puerto Rico. And he used to sell perfumes and stuff like that, and creams and all that. And I used to work as a promoter in the counters at the department stores. And that's been a long time. And then all of a sudden he jumped over to the beauty industry, and we had this little line called Matrix. And that's how Exotique started. That's how I started. I went to college, and as I was in college, I kept working with my dad. With the sales, and then when I came back, I just jumped right in. I was actually offered a job in the northeastern side of the U.S. And my father and mother were like, you know what, blood is heavier than water. What do you want to do? And I was like, okay, that was a big hint. So came down here and then worked in the beauty industry since then. When we started visiting salons, we were. I was convincing people that the resin that the dentist used to fill black was not as good as acrylic. That was a long time ago. So that's how I started in the business. And from there, we just evolved. We had Exotique was a very powerful, very, very powerful distributor down in the Caribbean. We had stores. We were in Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Caribbean, Curacao, Aruba. And in 2000 and I kept growing on inside the business. I started actually in the warehouse and then kept growing. And then at the end, 2 years before I left, I was running the business. And, life. Mom passed away, and it was a big thing. And then I left, and the business closed about 2 years after that. I did another thing, but I never kind of completely disconnected from the beauty industry. I had friends, I faced people, and then during the pandemic, somebody that I had helped start their business when I was running Exotique. I got a couple of lines, and I was like, you know what, take these lines and you run with it, help them up. He called me, he says, I can't get this thing off the ground. What are you doing? I was like, I'm not doing anything. He's like, come over and help me. So I did, and when I gave him the business plan, he was like, I'm not doing that. Keep the lines. So that was 2 years ago. Yeah, about two or 3 years ago, I started Exotique again. But this time around, I didn't want to do a Me Too company. Mm-hmm. I wanted to, my mom died of cancer, and there's nothing in this world that can change my mind about where that cancer came from. It's something that we're doing to ourselves. I'm very careful with my diet. I live a very healthy lifestyle, and you look around and somebody that has cancer or knows somebody that has cancer. So it's something that we're doing to ourselves. Mm-hmm. So I said, you know what? I'm not bringing in anything that's going to harm anybody. So I started looking into the clean lines, and I ran into this very beautiful white and pink booth in Orlando.
I can guess who that is.
And I started reading about it, and I saw, the literature, and I saw what they were all about. And then I ran into the Light Elegance University brochure, and I got hooked. So everything that I have, before it was my parents' business, now it's my business. Everything that we have now is completely organic, or at least very clean. No harmful chemicals. Um, Everything is hypoallergenic, and we started with that. My background in the nail industry specifically, we were the creative nail distributors. We launched basically the nail business in Puerto Rico. So, I taught people how to do soak off gels with the shellac back then, which were the pioneers in the industry way back when. So I started with the nail business, we've been for the last year actually we've been distributing Light Elegance, famous names, especially in the nail business, and now this thing behind me, which is it's a clean hair product line called Surface. So everything that we have now in Exotique, it's clean. So we like to call ourselves a green distributor, so much as you can call yourself that. And everything in our mission is to distribute clean products that help move the industry forward in a healthier way.
Do you think that there's some challenges inherent in being one of the first people to actually take that kind of position? I mean, I think everything you're saying is definitely stuff that I am focused on as well, and I think that's why we align on these conversations. But I imagine it's really challenging to be the first person taking that stance and saying, hey, we're going to choose good over easy, right? I mean, what has your experience been like with that?
It's been challenging, to say the least. And it's a combination of many things. And I am speaking a language that nobody wants to hear right now. We're animals of costumbre, of
Habit.
Habit. Humans are animals of habit, and I already know how to use this product. What are you talking about? I don't need anything healthier. But then again, every single day I get people telling me, what happened? My nails. I mean, I used the same product. It changed. When I started doing this, like everything, there were the early adopters. Everybody jumped in. Then when the early adopters moved out, then I hit a big wall. And so I've kept hacking on it. And it's very difficult. It's like doing a budget. Everybody starts doing a budget, and when they see that the thing's just not matching, they're like, you know what, leave that there. If I don't if I don't look at it, it won't bite me. It's the same thing. You don't deal with the problem until it starts popping up and it starts becoming a problem. I've had people sit down in my desk starting to cry. They have friends that they're really good friends. They've done their nails for years, and all of a sudden their nails are destroyed. They don't know what they did. Family members. People that, the other day I had a woman crying here because her business is getting affected by this, a problem with health. So it's been very difficult, but I think somebody has to do it. And I for sure have the right motivation. I saw what my mom suffered, and I think that's for me. When I'll be very honest with you. There's days that we don't sell a cent, and we call these people, and they're like, "No, I don't have that problem. No, that's not happening to me. No, that's not happening." So. The easier thing would be just get one of those products that, sell and you don't have to worry about it and they damage your nails, but you don't care. But then again, I think the future is moving to healthier products, and I think we're riding the very tip of the wave. You're at the very beginning of that wave. So it's been a challenge.
I totally agree.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, being in that kind of niche space of trying to do the right thing before it's the popular thing is always going to be a very difficult battle. But I do agree with you, which is I think a lot of people in our industry kind of wait until it's such a bad problem that they actually have to do something about it instead of trying to get ahead of it. And so I'm glad to see that you're also trying to take that stance in your area, which is, hey, let's get this education out there. Let's talk about what's different. Let's talk about where the industry is moving. Let's try and get ahead of some of these things. And that's I think only a true entrepreneur would be able to do that, because you have to be brave. You have to be a little bit, crazy, I think, to do it too. And,
I've been told that.
Yeah, you have a little bit of crazy, because you have to be willing to do it even though people are telling you no on a daily basis. And I'm really, really glad to see you doing that. What do you wish nail techs in your area knew more about? I mean, if you could have a wish list of changes to make to this industry, or to even individual nail technicians that you come across, what would be something that you wish you could just put that change in place tomorrow?
I want the industry. When the lamp thing came about, so I attacked literally every single body that had an opinion on that. Doctors, news outlets, because why do you believe a doctor or a news outlet and not your nail technician that's working on your nails every day? It's very simple. We need to make our industry more professional. We need to start working with education, with the facts, with what's going on. We need to be, instead of nail technicians, nail professionals. People that will sit down on a table and put health before aesthetics. People that are willing to say, hey, that's not going to be good for you. And I'm not doing it because my job is to keep that nail intact. I mean, we think about it, and so we're going to a podologist, right? Well, he's a doctor, but he deals with the nails. We deal with the nails. Oh, he studied a little bit more. We can study more. The lamp thing. I challenge anybody that has a thing with the lamps to debate with me why they're so harmful, because they're not. It's just you don't understand what's going on there. So I want the industry to move to the next level. I want people to start saying that they're nail techs, that they're that they do nails. No, you don't. You deal with one of the most important parts of the body. Hey, anybody can do. You got your hair dirty, you do a ponytail and you put some gel on and you keep going. That does not happen with the nails.
That's true.
You glued something on it, but you're not coming out with the freaking nails not done. So this is where do you see age? Neck and hands. You can put all the products that you want in your face, your hands will tell the tale. So this is not an industry that's small. This is an industry that deals with a very important part of the body, which we all know. It's a very big part of the psyche, especially in the Latin community, and all the Latin women that are listening to me now, and men know this. Puerto Rican women would rather not eat for a week instead of not having their nails done. They do not care. You're not getting paid. My nails are getting done. So that's one of the things I would really wish that we would start taking ourselves more seriously. The nail technicians would stop calling themselves that and start calling themselves professionals, because they are. And in that same way, treat the profession like that. Ask what the product has, learn what the product does. Don't just go to the Me Too products, or go to take a video class, which is fine to start, but you need to move forward. You need to there's somewhere to start, but there's always somewhere to go. And that's what a professional does.
I love
the continued
that.
education.
Totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, the technician thing, it just means, it's like you're a car mechanic, right? Or you're a master of your trade. One's a mechanic, one's somebody that actually can do all of the stuff and then some. So I agree with that. And I think we loosely use that term professional. A lot of people use that word professional to describe themselves. And we talk about support the professional and the professional industry. But I actually think our industry is lacking a lot of professionals. I think most of us are approaching things from a technician perspective. So I really like to hear that. And I wanted you to talk a little bit about, because I agree with you on the education piece. I think education is really what allows you to understand all of the implications of what you're doing. And education, I think, is maybe one of those areas where people don't really know how to get started. They don't know what resources are available to them. So, what are the sorts of resources that you're providing for nail professionals in Puerto Rico in your area?
Yeah, and listen, that's one of the things when Liz and I met in Oregon. That's one of the first things she and I talked about. You're doing an awesome job. I love to hear you teach everything that you know to the people that maybe don't know. I also know that you try and help every single body being in the industry or looking to go into the industry. That's very commendable. I really appreciate you doing that. And that's what we trying to do. The Latin market is kind of different. You know this. You live with one probably. So we are very different. We are people's people. We like touch. We like the proximity. We are not computer. We would.
Yeah.
Yes, it's. I mean, we might know everything, but if you sit us down in a Zoom call for 45 minutes, will be 40 minutes. We won't be paying attention. We like to go somewhere, get educated, talk to the person right next to me, meet them, take a cup of coffee. That's what we like to do. That's what we do. So here in Puerto Rico, and we did a class in Orlando, and it was the same thing. We're trying to get people together, building a community of nail technicians that want to learn and want to grow their trade. And we're trying to come up with different ways of teaching. It's kind of funny because when I started distributing Light Elegance, I went back to what I know. I used to do 28 classes a month. I would get people in a place and I would teach it. I did the same exact thing. The first group, we had a big group. We had 30 people in there. And I failed miserably. These people, I did not teach the thing right. I did not understand that the market had evolved. I didn't see it. So now we've been evolving our classes and we've been switching and changing the way we teach. And at this point, we are not teaching you how to do nails. We are helping you grow your trade. We are helping you develop skills. We expect you to learn how to do nails by watching a video. Anybody can do that. My daughter is a med student, and I walk into her apartment and I see this little, soak of gel thing she bought on Amazon. Anybody can do that. Fixing a nail problem. Getting the job done right without damaging the nail. Helping a client that has an issue. That's what we help them here. That's what we're teaching now. And I think we're starting to hit the right note. We get people together and they grow from each other's experiences. And I don't say this lightly. This program that we're running now, it's a combination of the suggestions that the past students have given us. So, we keep evolving that and we get them together, Liz. I believe, my team at Exotic believes that, if you have support, it's easier to jump. It's easier to try something new if you know you're not alone.
It's community, right? I mean, community. Being a nail professional is a very, very lonely business to be in because you really are alone. It's you versus the client, you versus the world. So I love that you're building that sense of community, and you're so right. I mean, you can say, for those of the viewers that don't know, I'm married to a Mexican, so I understand the Latino culture inside and out. And it's
I
funny
bet
because
that took
you're
a
so
minute to understand.
yeah, you're so right because it's something that's very different. And I think even the online stuff, we're trying to create a sense of community from afar. But I'm so glad to hear that you're actually creating that real community, that real physicality, because it is a very lonely thing. And that can make it very scary when you're trying to face these issues by yourself and you don't really know where to start and you don't know if you're the only person dealing with this issue. And maybe you get a little bit embarrassed, or a little bit nervous about, asking questions. So seeing that there's other people that are going through the same thing and are facing the same problems, I think is so powerful. And I love that you're actually pivoting. Again, that to me is totally entrepreneurial spirit, which is instead of just doing the same thing, and never trying to change or improve it, you're actually listening to what people are saying. You're trying to adapt to the way people want to learn these days. And I love also to hear you say it's not about doing the nails. It's about how do you actually become that professional, right? How do you become that subject matter expert that allows you to provide guidance and problem solving and troubleshooting and all of those things that truly are what make us professionals. Doing nails does not make us professionals, right?
At all, my daughter.
That's so cool. I love that.
Yeah, and again, if you take a step back and you look at the beauty industry as a whole, for years the hair business has supported the stylist. They bring him to conventions. They bring in the distributor does all these big shows and bring seminars. Do the nail techs have that? They don't. The manufacturer doesn't do a big powwow and brings you in, and they don't. The nail tech is usually a self-taught entrepreneur. Unfortunately, and I say this with a heavy heart, there's a lot of people that are, I think they want to do good, but they just don't have the traction to do good. There's a lot of people teaching classes right now that, they've been in the industry for 2 or 3 years. I've been in the industry for more than 30 years, actually. And I created an educational program that failed. I did it wrong. It wasn't what the market needed. So, if you go to these seminars and you're taught by somebody that's just learning like you, but it's good at what they're doing, they're an entrepreneur. They want to move forward. Then you're exposing yourself to bad techniques or maybe be bad use of products. So it's all a lack of manufacturers and distributors not doing the same thing that the styling industry does.
Yep.
We should be more, and that's what I'm trying to do, right? Which I want to develop people. I want you to grow professionally. And when your aunt asks you, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" and you say, "Hey, I am a nail professional," they don't go, "Wasn't there anything else?" No.
Yeah.
It's a great profession, and actually, there's a lot of people that, it's my wife is one. If the nail tech calls, everybody goes into second place. Everybody. She dropped. Oh no, she's got an appointment. I'm gone. So it's that mentality that we as an industry need to get together and understand that it's important not just to learn the nails. You need to develop your skills. You need to keep growing. You need to understand what's going on, and not because somebody came up with something means that it's the right thing to do. So yeah.
I love that.
And Latin industry, and it's not only here, it's in the States, everybody. The Latin nail market is very different to the Anglo-Saxon nail market. I've had people come in that they want to do their nails. When I look at their nails, I had one from the other day. She was from Utah. And yeah, she was down here on vacation and she had an allergy on a nail. And I don't know how she ended up contacting us. I don't know how that happened, but I referred her to one of our clients, and when I saw the nail, nobody does that nail here. Like that nail was just not what the Latin women use. So it's the same industry,
Hmm.
same products,
But totally different.
same techniques, totally different.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that, you know, when you do an educational program, Liz is going to do an educational program to satisfy her clients. We need to do the same thing down here. It's a different market with the same products and the same knowledge. It needs to adapt. Um, and I think that's one of the key things that uh, we have to keep top of mind on distributors. That
Right.
our job is to adapt.
I agree. And I also think it's so true to say that, when you're creating that community, right? So you've got the exotique community that you're building. That's also something that certain individuals are either going to join because of just that's where they are locally. But also, I think it's really important. I agree with you, which is as a distributor, we are creating a sense of community where people can choose to belong to those communities because they identify with the way that education is being done, with the way that, the products are being promoted, or the way that, just business is happening. And I really love that too, because I feel like a lot of people think that our industry is, even just this conversation, I find ironic because you've got two distributors. We sell the same product, right? But instead of us thinking of each other as competition, we think of each other as allies because someone who
Yeah.
identifies with me, or doesn't identify with me needs a community to go to. So my job, just like you just said, my job is to refer people to a community or to a nail technician or to a space where they are going to ultimately be so successful and supported, and they're going to get education in the way that they need to get it. So you could
Yep.
say, okay, well, it could be because, I need the education in Spanish. That's one reason. But I actually think more important than that is the way that your unique distribution is going to be able to address things. And that's going to speak to specific individuals. So I just love that so much because I'm always trying to fight for people to understand that we aren't really competing against each other. We're all trying to do the same thing. And we need to actually network, right? I mean, in every other professional industry, you network. Why don't we network in the
Yeah.
nail industry? Why is it always, I'm going to
Uh,
keep everything to myself? I think it's so weird.
yeah, I've run into that here. It's uh, again, I honestly think that if you're seriously in this industry, um, we think alike.
Yeah.
If you just want to make a buck, you are gonna think about yourself. I mean, it's no. We're all in this to make money, but the more money that my nail techs do, the better that I'll do. So it's in my best interest to help my clients.
Yeah.
So again, I if I get people to sit down with a nail tech that is very professional, I did my job. As a distributor, I did my job.
Yeah.
Um, and we need to, again, and you and I talked about this. I think the more you're a super intelligent woman, and we can learn, from what you've been doing, and hopefully, you can take away some stuff that'll make you stronger too. And at the end, we're helping the industry that feeds us, that feeds people, that put food on families' tables. I mean, that's what we do as distributors. That's my job actually.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I totally agree. I think we are a lot stronger if we collaborate than if he's doing that when I'm doing that. But
No, they're not. They're definitely not common attitudes, but I think it just comes from a lack of education. I think it comes from a lack of confidence. And I think when you're really nervous about whether or not you're going to be successful, that's when a lot of those, like celos come out, right? It's like you're constantly, having issues
Yeah.
with what other people are doing, and you're constantly very afraid of competition, and you're afraid of and jealous of other people. So I really, really think that what you're trying to do is such an amazing thing. As soon as I met you in Oregon, I was like, this is my kind of guy. And again, I love that you're a true entrepreneur. You're a little bit crazy because you have to be in order to be successful at being an entrepreneur, just like me.
Yeah.
You're willing to step out and take risks and be one of those early adopters and one of those people that's bringing stuff forward before it's even popular or easy. And I just so identified with that. And I thought that was so brave and so cool. And I'm so glad that we met. And I'm so glad that you were able to join me and talk to me today about what you're up to. And maybe what you can do is leave us with a little bit of how can, if people want to, get in touch with Exotique, how can people reach out? What's a great way for people to interact with you?
We have, like always, social media, Exotique, written, we're Exotique, not Exotique. Exotique PR, it's on their Instagram, Exotique Salon Systems, Facebook, our website, exotiquepr.com. The PR comes from Puerto Rico, obviously.
Yep.
And you know what? We love hearing from people. We actually have a program where if we haven't heard from our clients in a while, we call them and we find out what's going on with them. Find out what's going on. And just today I called somebody this morning and she had to close her business and she was trying to get herself back up, and she was like, you know what, I so much appreciate this call because I was kind of in the middle, kind of lost. I don't know if I want to keep going, and that she took the call as a signal. Everybody uses what they, but we love to hear from people. Liz, we really, really enjoy talking to our clients and finding out, what they're doing. One of my colleagues here has this weird ability that she knows everybody's name. I have the other superpower. I never know their names. Hey, you have a very familiar face. I have no clue what your name is. But again, I don't consider them clients. I mean, they're supporting me. They're trusting our company. I don't take that lightly, as I said before. I really don't. So, and if we can't help them, we'll find somebody to help them. We've done it before. So again, I've actually referred a couple people over to your page because they're like, "Oh, when are you coming to?" What was the name? Somebody called me from Maine.
Oh, wow.
When are you coming to Maine for Maine to a class? Where? I just never. It's
too cold up there.
So I was like, you might want to go to Nail Hub. They have all these cool programs to figure out, and they're teaching that. So again, it's just helping the industry. We need to think ourselves as an industry and not as individuals that work the nail business. And again, I'm becoming a full service distributor. But just I love the industry. I love hair color, but I also love nails. Been doing them for a very, very, very long time. So,
very cool.
Yeah, I definitely.
All right. Well, gracias, Joche.
De nada.
I'm so excited that you were here, and I'll definitely put all of Joche's information down below this video so you guys can communicate with Joche if you want to and just interact with him. He's a great guy to follow and always trying to do the up and up for our industry, as you can see from today's episode. But yeah, I can't wait to do this again with you soon. And, thanks for everything.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I really appreciate it. I feel very honored that you took the time to talk to us.
Of course. All right. Bye.
Take care.